remember there was this whole episode about a labyrinth that was actually just a hotel. The labyrinth was actually a hotel, and you just infinitely wandered the halls of the hotel until a goddamn minotaur came along and killed you and ate you. I just like that they modernized the labyrinth part and then they kept the old-timey minotaur part. Ooh, weird. What? There's like a giant chunk missing right here in the middle. Oh, in the shape of a plant. I have to go all the way back here. It's not this plant, is it? Oh. Is everything in here a mislead? I see table legs here. I see a table that isn't a table here. Oh, I see. Fun. Now I get it. There we go. There we go. It's the two halves of the same table. Yes. There we go. Woo! And I can use it. Oh. Oh. What? Weird. Do 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 do. I do sound effects. It's something I inherited from my dad. Like, so I have to fill. I have this weird irrational need to fill empty noises as I'm doing things in front of people. So you'll hear me being like bop or like yeah if I'm in a car in a game. It's just it's totally unnecessary, but it's just the way I am and the way I stream, and my husband can attest that that's just the way I am, period, as a person. Am I supposed to use this thing? Is this supposed to... What? Do you guys know what to do? Anyone? Help. Oh, seriously? You know, I was like, am I supposed to jump on top of it? And I'm like, nah, the game mechanics won't let me do that. That would be ridiculous, someone balancing on top of this chess piece. But apparently... Oh, wait, no! That's okay, I wanted to pull the fire alarm anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I got up here once. There we go. Whee! Yoink. Yay! So I see the pawn piece on it, the little picture, but it looked like a tiny, tiny dick from back here. I'm not crazy, right? I'm not the only one with the mind of a 13-year-old. Yeah. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Is there something special about this die other than the... Oh! I'm just gonna soldier on. Hopefully we didn't need that. Whee! And now it's empty. I used to work at a safety company, like an OSHA sort of, not OSHA itself, but it was a company that provided like safety equipment, like gloves and masks. And this was way before COVID, like years. I'll finish my story in a sec here. You don't need to introduce yourself every time, Glenn Pierce. Do not wake you up. Please don't interact with anything that strikes you as psychologically significant, as we will no longer have any way of controlling it. Ominous. Please punch them in the face as hard as you can and immediately run away. Can do, Dr. Glenn Pierce. Can do. What elevator? There is no elevator. The elevator is the lie. Oh! I say as I pick up the elevator. Anyway, the reason I thought of the safety company was the fire extinguisher going out after just a few pumps. And basically, when I did training, I had to get OSHA training. It was like 3 or 4 hours of OSHA training. Luckily, I was not there long enough to have to go through the 30-hour OSHA training. when I did the OSHA training, it was kind of interesting. Like, confined space OSHA safety stuff is kind of interesting, because in confined space, it's like, a confined space is something with only one exit and entrance, like only one way in, one way out, and oh my god, that messes with my vision. Not meant for human habitation, and it's like, gases can build up in like a sewage tank or septic tank or something, but then they stratify based on their density, and so you need a special little tube attached to an air quality monitor and to lower it down foot by foot so you can measure the chemicals in the air all the way down and all that stuff. And it was kind of interesting, but I remember at the end of this training, our instructor dude, he was like, all right, and now I'm going to show you what the world, like in this voice, I'm not exaggerating, I'm going to show you what the world would be like without OSHA. And we all kind of look at each other like, okay, that's a little dramatic. I've been here before, but I'm positive that is intentional on their part. Anyway, so he brings up all these, like a YouTube compilation that he made of like people doing, I mean, yes, it was definitely not the safest way to do things like demolition projects, like balancing, I should say, on the top of an old brick wall and swinging the sledgehammer next to your feet and inching along the wall as your sledgehammer destroys each segment of wall that you are standing on. You know, things like that. Or like a single plank of wood that goes up 12 feet and you wheel your wheelbarrow full of concrete up it in bare feet. You know, I mean, definitely not safe things to do, but I just didn't understand the I hate to use this word, but fear-mongering of like, this is what happens in a world without OSHA. It just felt like a bad sort of, you know, like those ads in school when you were a kid about like the dangers of drugs, but it's just a girl smashing eggs with her hands, like, oh no. And the first place they lived was Barrow, Alaska, which is like bumfuck middle of nowhere, Alaska. You know, a summer day is like -20 degrees, and the kids can come out of the houses and play on the frozen wasteland. And of course, that far north of the Arctic Circle, in winter, it's dark 24/7 for a very, very long time, and it is dangerously cold. And fun fact about winters in Alaska, if a blizzard comes through, especially in Barrow where there's no hills, no trees, no mountains, it's just ripping, roaring, high-speed winds. It's not so much the danger of frostbite, that is definitely a danger, but if you go out in that weather and you get blown over in the snow, the wind can literally like asphyxiate you, like suck the air, like keep you from being able to breathe, and that's like plenty of people die that way up in Alaska, is by asphyxiation from storms. So fun fact, they tie ropes between buildings way far north, so you can follow that to any building you need to go to, so you don't fall over and die. So my parents one day in middle school were like, Lindsay, we want to show you this video we took when we lived in Barrow, Alaska. And I was like, cool. So they show me this video, and it's my dad in the living room of their little shack apartment in Barrow. Their friend Dan is holding the camera as the cameraman, and my dad's like in his normal Barrow attire, which is just a bunch of parkas and old jeans, and he's like, I am archaeologist, I'm like news anchor, something, and we have just found this incredible find of ancient civilization right here in Barrow, Alaska. And at first, and I'm already going, what, were they on drugs? What are they doing? Because they just look insane, because they've been inside for like 3 months in the dark with no square, like with a tiny house with their friend Dan. And my dad's hair is like all sticking up in places, and he's kind of like sweaty, and his eyes are like all big and manic and stuff. And he's like not even, this is nothing like what my dad is usually like. This was an extreme case of just crazy. So he's not even holding something that looks like a mic, he's just holding an invisible mic in his hand, like you know, improv. And he's like, let's go to the field and meet our archaeologists. And so they go outside the house, and it's my mom in, like, 5 parkas. And she's standing next to a 5-foot hole in the snow. And in the hole is just a snowmobile that got buried in winter. Because that's just something that happens. Like, my parents literally lost their friend's car in Alaska because they left it out overnight during a snowstorm, and it snowed 6 feet, and the snowplows came through, and they just pushed the car over without knowing it into the ditch along with the snow. So they're all standing around this hole with a snowmobile in it, and my mom is, like, doing the same holding invisible microphone thing. She's like, yes, this is the most significant find in our era, the sign of intelligent life here in Barrow, Alaska. And she's got the same crazy hair and, like, manic, like, sort of smile and face. So that had nothing to do with beans, I just realized. But the point is, that's what Barrow does. So during this same kind of winter, my parents had canned baked beans and a head of iceberg lettuce, and that was, like, it to eat. So my dad said, we're gonna make a beanie du weenie. That's how he pronounced it. He does a better French accent than me. A beanie du weenie. So he just took a single iceberg lettuce leaf and laid it on a plate and then put 2 little beans in the middle and, like, was like, ha ha ha, it's like a high-end restaurant, tiny portions, sort of, you know, deconstructed baked beans with fresh lettuce salad thing. Don't live in Barrow. I'm serious. Don't go to Barrow, Alaska. Some people go there for vacation. My parents went there for vacation after living there, and they said they got there, and they went, why? Why did we do this? We already lived this hell once. Sometimes you got a vacation to see your loved ones. We have no loved ones in Barrow. All our friends, including Dan, their roommate, moved from Barrow as soon as they could. It was that bad. Yeah. But you are right. There are plenty of people who live there, and I'm sure they're happy there, and they've got kids and family there. Statistically, not super, super awesome. The drug and alcohol addictions out there are just horrible, because there's nothing to do in Barrow except that. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that sad note.